Mailbag number 3. So recently we got a lot of feedback about our 5 Mercedes that are inexpensive purchases. And so one thing I have to explain about this was that these cars are cars that are inexpensive to purchase, but there's frequently a lot of deferred maintenance that's going to get expensive and difficult to do. And so each of these cars actually belongs to a category. Now the first question I got is, Pierre, why didn't you include the 123 series and 126 series and 116 series, diesels especially? And my response was, well, anybody should know that anything with a 616 or 617 diesel engine in it is great value for the money. They're probably the best Mercedes that you can buy. I'm trying to focus on some other cars that people overlook, but if you're getting into a Mercedes for the first time, there's nothing wrong with starting with a 123 or 126 turbo diesel, especially one with a 617 engine in it. And if you're starting, that's still the best place to start. Now, some of these cars, like the 280S or the 250S or the 250 SE, their buy-in cost is lower than other 108s, but the cost of doing work on them really isn't that much different. So the only place you're going to save money with these is you'll probably save about 50% over the cost of a V8 version, and that's why I specifically listed that car. Some of the other cars, like the 124 series cars, they're good do-it-yourself cars, and you can save money doing repairs on them yourself, but I still am not convinced that the 124 is a good enough car compared to the 123 for me to want to drive on every day. Now, the next thing is, some of you noticed the 380 SL picture turned out to be a 300 SL picture in that same video. I hope you guys got the joke. Still a funny joke. The third thing I wanted to bring up that I thought was really great was High Tech Hobbies asked if we could do a video on adjusting the shifting vacuum modulator pressures for a 123 series car. So I will consider doing this in the future. Right now, High Tech Hobbies, I really don't have the time to set up the thing for this, but I am going to blow through the procedure with you in 3 easy steps. First of all, at the VCV valve, you should have some vacuum loss, but not a lot, maybe 2 or 3 inches, and you should be checking vacuum where the vacuum modulator line goes down to the transmission. And this vacuum modulator line should be giving you between 9 and 15 inches of vacuum, and it should drop pretty close to 0 when you're accelerating and then come back up. You could actually block things off to check for leaks, like blocking off the EGR, blocking off the white vacuum lines in the valve cover. You should also check the vacuum supply port and the brake booster line to make sure it's not plugged with carbon. And then I know that the ideal way to do this is by putting a port up on the side of the transmission, but I've done it both ways, where I've just continuously adjusted the modulator until I got the best shifts out of the car, and there's nothing wrong with doing it like that. So don't feel bad if you have to resort to that method, but you need to establish that you have adequate vacuum first. If you have like 3 or 4 inches of vacuum, it's just not going to shift right. The minimum you need is 9, and you really need something closer to 12, 13, 14, 15. For our last question in Mailbag, somebody sent me a really funny email. I can't remember who it was, but they said, Pierre, could you pick a person that you identify with the most? And I don't know if they were talking about the car world or just in general, but there is a character that I do identify with quite a bit, and that's Hank Hill from King of the Hill. And most of you who are about my age grew up watching that show, and Hank is into one thing, and that's propane. And he tries to be a good and decent guy and take care of his family, but he fixes, he deals with propane and propane accessories. And if you haven't watched King of the Hill and you're like 20 years old and you sort of missed that golden era of Fox adult cartoons, You should go back and watch them, but sometimes as a joke when I meet people, I go, I fix Mercedes and Mercedes accessories, or I restore Mercedes and Mercedes accessories. And people think that that's really funny because a lot of them recognize it. And also the fact that Hank is from Texas and I'm also from Texas. You know, I think it's golden. So anyway, for the rest of you, please keep the questions coming, and thank you so much for your feedback, especially in the Bring a Trailer videos. We're going to have one coming up soon about the 126 market, because that was what my friend Fayez Rahman suggested. So here we go. Anyway, enjoy driving your Mercedes Benz. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, and consider supporting us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers do get their questions answered snippety snap via a phone call or an email. Thanks.